Now, why music? Well, we love music, and it's always good to do something you love.
Music has been a part of Apple's lineage for a very long time, and leading up to the release of the iPod in 2001, Steve Jobs and the Apple executives had this idea that they wanted to be able to give consumers the ability to carry 1,000 songs in their pocket. And not only that, so that's already several orders of magnitude more storage space than the average MP3 player at the time. On top of that, they wanted to make it 30 times faster as far as data transfer from your home computer to the actual iPod device. And on top of that, they also wanted to ensure that the music didn't skip, because back then they're still using hard drives with moving parts before the age of flash drives and solid state drives like we have today. So one of the issues, if you ever had one of the original CD players that had the anti-skip features, if you tapped on it and disrupted the playback for a longer period of time than what the skip time allowed, usually 20 seconds, 30 seconds, then it would disrupt the music. So really, it was difficult to go on any sort of run or bike ride or mountain climb, as Steve Jobs describes, with that type of skip rate. The iPod had 20 minutes of skip protection, which allowed you to be, listen to music while you're doing an active sport. I remember the first time I touched the original iPod or one of the original iPods. It was so beautiful. And the stainless steel back case, the tactile features on the front of the screen, the backlit screen, so you could use it, in low light conditions. It was obvious that the Apple engineers spent a lot of time focusing on perfecting the human-machine interface. You were able to manipulate every button on the iPod Gen 1 with just your forefinger, or really any one of your fingers. The scrolling was much crisper and cleaner, and the font was much clearer than most screens of that day. If you compare them to the Palm Pilot or other relative cell phones of the day, it was just a much better user experience. And on top of that, the battery life was astounding. This was a lithium polymer battery that Apple shipped, installed in the iPod Gen 1, and it was the most advanced battery technology that Apple had ever shipped in any of their products, including their high-end, expensive computers. So that, to me, was a groundbreaking effort and a huge investment in R&D dollars that Apple put forward to invest in being a market leader in the music industry.
We didn't stop there. iPod has got Apple design. We've got one of the best design teams in the world, and they have done a remarkable job.
I love how Steve Jobs highlights that the iPod has Apple design. Apple design is part of the brand recognition and one of the key attributes of Apple that makes them so successful. They have a certain way that they design products where, as if someone were to put a blindfold on you and give you an Apple device, there are certain shapes and button shapes and ergonomics that would just let you know it's an Apple device without even looking at it. And I love how Steve Jobs constantly refers to his design team as a world-class design team, one of the best design teams in the world. I think any great company, this is a recipe for any great company, to have a world-class design team. A group of talented engineers and designers that work together and collaborate to create something just remarkable. And it just shines through in all the features. Aside from the specifications of the actual device itself, the way it looks and feels, it just feels, any Apple product that I've used for the most part has felt like an extension of the human body. Like it's meant to be in your hand, it's meant to be in your ear, it's meant to be on your face.
I happen to have one right here in my pocket, matter of fact. There it is, right there.
As a career salesman like myself, I just love these product launches. I think every salesman probably does. Every salesman could probably take a master class by watching Steve Jobs launch a new product like this. It's so well rehearsed, the build-up, the audience engagement, the surprises, the way he breaks down the product specifications in an easy to understand way, all of it resonates. Thanks for tuning in to Tech 45. As I go on, the technologies will get more complex. We'll have some guest speakers that'll be very interesting. And then the production quality will probably be a lot better than me just filming in my basement on my Samsung Galaxy. Ironically enough, I'm filming this on an Android product when I'm talking about Apple products. But I use both. I like both operating systems. Both have their pros and cons, but we'll get into that in a later episode.